Conference with England ahead of their game against Senegal tomorrow at 10 o'clock in Al Bayt. Delighted to welcome to my left coach Gareth Southgate, to his left captain Harry Kane, and to far left team media officer Andy Walker. Please disable the mobile hotspots as usual. Using the FIFA interpretation app, we have English, Arabic and French this evening. And photographers, I will ask you after 5 minutes to leave, please, but I will give you fair notice when it's the last question. Okay, let's go to questions from the floor. At the front, please, second row.
Harry, we've heard today of the sad news that Pele's been moved into palliative care. In 2015, ahead of your first international cap, he said you were an excellent player, and his advice to you was to never believe you're the best player in the world and to keep learning. Do you remember when he said that, and what impact has he had on your career?
Yeah, no, first and foremost, we send our best wishes to him and obviously all his family as well. And inspiration amongst our game, incredible footballer, incredible person. To hear those words back then from him was really special for me. And I always feel like I'm someone who is always learning and will continue to learn for the rest of my career. So he was spot on with his advice. So of course, sad to hear that news, but we wish him well from not just me but the whole England setup as well.
Thank you. At the front, second row, beg your pardon.
It's Kaveh Solokol from Sky Sports News. Just one for Gareth and one for Harry. First of all, Gareth, England have never played Senegal before. You did go and watch them in September in Vienna. What did you make of them then, and what have you made of them, having watched them since on TV? And for Harry, Gareth said that you had a foot injury. Are you feeling 100% fit? And is it playing on your mind at all that you haven't scored so far at this tournament?
No, first and foremost, my foot feels fine. No problem at all. Obviously, had that knock in the first game, but it's been getting better and better day by day, and in a place now where I almost don't feel it at all. So that's great. And no, form-wise, I feel like I've been playing well. Obviously the goals are probably what I'm going to be judged on most, but as always, I'm a calm individual, and I always try and focus on the team and doing my best for the team, and I feel like I can do that in many ways, as I've said before. So I'll continue to try and do that. If the goals come, then great. It means that it'll give us a better chance of winning the game, and as a striker, I always want to be scoring goals for sure. So we'll have to see how the game goes tomorrow. It's going to be a really tough game, but hopefully I can try and get off the mark.
Yeah, we've been very impressed. We know that they're African champions, very proud, great competitive spirit, a lot of belief in the team. Some excellent individual players who can cause problems, but a good structure to the team as well. So I think Aliou has done a fantastic job. They were very unlucky not to qualify from the group in Russia, and they've deservedly done it this time. So we know exactly the size of the task ahead of us.
Please, just 1 second for the translation. Go ahead, thank you.
Hello, David Kalfa from Radio France International. More and more Senegalese are playing in England, and obviously English football has brought them a lot. But what have these Senegalese players brought to English football? And is it an advantage for the Senegalese to know the English football so well?
Yeah, I'm sure that for the game tomorrow, there are a few surprises for the players that are playing in England, that's for sure. So, and of course, we've had a number of Senegalese players down the years, from Patrick Vieira to El Hadj Diouf, and now, of course, the coach. And now the players that are playing in England now, both in the Premier League and some guys that are in the Championship but are really Premier League players. So yeah, they've definitely enriched our game. As of players from all around the world, we're very fortunate that our league is so strong, and it encourages the best players in the world to come and play.
Thank you. Just wait for translation. Yes, and last two questions for photographers to be in, please.
Rob Harris from Sky News. Gareth, how much of a welcome dilemma is it, the fact you made the changes the other night and obviously performed so well, and how much is that sort of weighing on your mind? What selection you go with for tomorrow?
Well, it's a good position to be in. You want your players in confident mood, and our forward players are. Of course, you want to try to make the best possible decision, but in some respects, I'm not sure there's a right or a wrong. Whichever players we start with, we're going to need the bench, we need the strength, and they all offer different attributes, and it's just trying to get the balance of the team right and make the best possible decisions. But for us, great that we've got the whole squad fit and available, feeling good about themselves, but with that nice balance of knowing how difficult it was to get through this round in our last two tournaments. We know the quality of the opposition, but we've got belief in ourselves as well.
Thank you. Last question with photographers, please. Gentleman in the middle.
سأسأل بالعربي. Ask in Arabic. Okay.
Asking in Arabic. My question is to Harry and then to Gareth. Harry, do you miss Mohamed Salah in this World Cup? Because in the Premier League, you are quite an adversaries. The Arabs were waiting for Salah to take part in this. Can you talk about the competition? How it would have been this competition if Salah was here? How would you have competed on the level of scoring goals, Mr. Southgate? The Moroccan coach talked about the possibility of Morocco be crowned as champions of this World Cup. My question, can the Arabs dream of being crowned champions of this World Cup?
Yeah, no, obviously we've had some good battles in the Premier League for sure. Yeah, it's obviously not my place to him. He unfortunately hasn't made it here, but he's a world-class player for sure, and I'm sure the next opportunity he has, he'll be desperate to play. But yeah, really great player. We've had some good battles in the Premier League, and I'm sure that will continue over the years to come.
I think we've seen the power of football growing around the world in this competition. Of course, historically, South America, Europe have been dominant, but you can see with the result stages that the Arab nations, the African nations, the Asian nations have all caused, have all achieved big results against higher ranked teams, and I think we all know that in tournament football it's about performing on the day, and fine margins can make the difference. But all of those countries now have talented players, but also good organisation, and I think coaching around the world now is at a really high level.
Thank you. We'll take a short pause for any photographers to allow them to leave, if I haven't frightened everybody away already. Yes, there we go. Thank you very much, photographers.
أحمد عويس صحفي مصري.
My question for the coach, Sadio Mane, not with the Senegalese squad, with his great experience for a long time and also his expertise with the English players. Does this give you a relaxation? Does it give you a breather before this important match?
No, I think he's obviously an incredible player, and every team would want to have him. But what we've seen with the team of Senegal is that they've become very strong in his absence, and have shown great spirit through losing him. So we know that it doesn't it doesn't make a difference to the level of the fixture for tomorrow. We've got to be prepared for the game, and we've got to be at our very best to be able to win the game.
Thank you. We'll come to the front, please, for the two on the front row. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Hello, Coach. Hello, Coach, from China, Xinhua News Agency. You just mentioned the Asian nations in this competition. For the first time, we have 3 sides move into the knockout stage. So as a tactician, can you give us some comments on the progress we have made in this World Cup? Thank you.
I think all of the teams have been tactically aware, have played with great energy, and all have special individual players as well. So there's a really nice combination. I wasn't surprised, especially with Japan. We'd watched them before the tournament because they played the USA recently, and we could see the level of the team. So yeah, we weren't surprised by their performances at all.
Thank you. Lady at the front, please.
Sihan Wang from Tencent. Question for Harry. Have you been following your friend Sonny's World Cup journey more or less? And are you looking forward to maybe playing against him at a later stage?
Yeah, no, obviously they had an amazing night the other night, and it was great to see Sonny celebrate the way he did and work so hard, and I know that would have meant a lot to him and obviously the nation as well. So yeah, really delighted for them. Huge congratulations for him and his team. Yeah, look, if we do end up playing each other down the line, then for sure our friendship for that day will have to be put to one side. But no, all in all, I'm really happy for him, and I wish him all the best for the tournament.
Thank you. Just a second. Okay, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Gareth, hi. Henry Winter from The Times here. First, good luck tomorrow to you and Harry. Secondly, we saw that Ecuador scored against Senegal from a corner. Is that, I mean, that's one of your strengths. Is that something you've been particularly working on? Thank you.
Well, no more than we normally do. We haven't been as effective from set plays as we'd have liked to have been yet. So there's room for improvement from our side. But we go through the same processes for every opposition, trying to find areas to exploit. But of course, every team is reviewing what they didn't do as well in the previous games as well, and making those adjustments. It's yeah, with set plays especially, you know, even throw-ins now, you've got a battle even to get the ball on the pitch, really, without the opposition being in good position. So I think those small details, every team in the world are trying to get better and better all the time.
Thank you. Did you have a gentleman there in the orange T-shirt? Yes, after you. Thank you. Thank you.
بالعربي بلال السيسي صحفي مصري اتصالات سبورتس.
In Arabic, Egyptian, despite the fact that the English league is the strongest in the world, the results of the English squad are not that good. What are your comments regarding this? Despite that, there are some very great level players within the English squad. Can you comment on this, please?
What's that for me?
Yeah, take it if you want. Or if you want me to do it, I'll do it.
No, I think I got the question right about the performances not being great from us, but I think yeah, look, we scored the most goals in the tournament so far in the group stage. Got a really good defensive record, obviously in the last couple of games, especially with clean sheets. So yeah, I feel like we're in a good place. I've said before, the group stage is just about getting through. We had a good one. We finished top. We've done our job, and now it's almost a second competition of knockout football. So yeah, we have to be prepared to face a really tough side tomorrow, and yeah, be ready for anything that comes our way.
Thank you. Gentleman there.
Benjamin Zumil from Germany, T-Online. Mr. Southgate, here. You talked about European teams being dominating in the last World Cups, or it was more fewer World Cups. With Belgium, Denmark, and Germany, 3 big teams already are out of the tournament. What do you think of that, and how would you explain it from your point of view?
Well, it just shows how competitive international football is, because those 3 teams, either historically or in the recent tournaments, have had really good performances. Semi-final for Belgium, semi-final for Denmark. We know so many of the players in both of those teams, and we expected all of those teams to do well. So, but the teams they played against were very strong, and all of these games are difficult. You know, we've played. This is our 4th team in the top 20, but in the summer we played Hungary, who were ranked 30 plus. They were a very, very strong team, very good team, well coached, good players. So the depth of the challenge is really tough.
Thank you. Go right to the back, please. Thank you for your patience. Right at the back.
Bonjour, Mamoudou Diagne, journaliste de la radio-télévision sénégalaise, RTS. Ma question s'adresse à Harry Kane.
I'm a journalist from Senegal. I have a question for Harry Kane. Being in the same team as a young Senegalese player who hasn't yet been a starter in your club, what do you think about him?
Sorry, could you repeat that question, please? You've got a young Senegal player. Oh, yeah, Papi. Yeah. Okay. Talking about Papi, yeah. So, no, Papi, he's coming to the team. He hasn't quite found himself playing a lot of games yet, but from what I see in training, he's a really talented player. Quite quiet in personality, just gets on with training and gets on with his job, but a really good guy, So yeah, if he plays tomorrow, then obviously I know a few things from training, but he's a really talented player, has some great ability on the ball, so we'll be ready for that. And yeah, all in all, it's good to see him doing well at the highest level.
Thank you. Gentleman, second row, please.
Hi, guys. James Ollie from ESPN. Good luck. Harry, you spoke last summer about trying to taper your form to sort of peak in the knockout rounds. Presumably you're trying to do that again now. Could you just talk about how you do that, and do you sort of feel the best you felt since you've been in Qatar? And just to Gareth, sort of off the back of that, how did that sort of discussion go between the two of you? And is this sort of an example of the kind of tournament savvy that you've tried to sort of inject into the squad?
Yeah, no, I think it probably goes back to 2018 in the World Cup. I felt like, just from a physical and maybe mental side of things, we started the tournament great. I started the tournament with loads of goals, used a lot of energy, and kind of as the tournament went on, I felt like my performances maybe dipped in the latter stages, and I was conscious before the Euros of trying to make it the other way in terms of course, I still wanted to start well, but was trying to make sure that physically and mentally I was in the best place for the knockout stages. And yeah, I kind of carried that into this tournament. I mean, I would love to be sitting here with 2 or 3 goals now, and for sure. But I think the group stage has gone well. I think minutes-wise, it's not been too tough. The games hasn't been really physical when you look at the numbers when we break it down. So I mean, going into the knockout stage, I feel really good. I feel fit, and coming off the back of the Premier League schedule, I feel in as match fit as I'm ever going to feel. So only time will tell. Hopefully, let's say I can do well tomorrow and try and come into the best form into these knockout games.
Thank you. The third row, please.
Hi, Gareth.
Sorry, this one for Gareth.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I think we've learned a lot from having played 7 matches in the last 2 tournaments, and the need to firstly keep the squad involved emotionally as well as physically. We've had individual situations across all of those tournaments where we've tried to manage people's minutes and manage some players back from injury and get them onto the field and ready to be match fit. And to this point, we're really pleased with that progress. So that means we've got everybody available for tomorrow, but I suppose that's one of the areas we've learned, and you don't necessarily know that unless you go right to the distance. So it's one area we don't need to find out more about, but it's only relevant for us if we win tomorrow and we progress.
Thank you. In the middle there.
Hi Gareth, Alex Howell, BBC. The players have been asked a lot about the prospect of penalties coming up, as this is the first game they come into play. Just how heavy does that weigh on you, and does the last penalty shootout you have in a major tournament have a decision on the takers in this tournament?
Well, we like every other aspect of our game, we're prepared, and we've had a process that we've followed. We've had 3 shootouts, we've won 2. So inevitably, the one that you don't get over the line, you reflect and you think about how you can improve those processes. So we've done that over the last few months in particular. But of course, there's so many other aspects to the game that we've got to get right, and we're aiming to win the game and to avoid extra time if you can, and to avoid penalties if you can, because you'd like to get a victory in 90 minutes. But if we need to go 120 minutes, if we need to go beyond that, then we've got to be ready for that mentally and physically, and I believe we are.
Thank you very much. Back to the front row, please.
Simon Peach from PA. Questions for Gareth, actually. First of all, just wondering how you feel both about your team and yourself compared to the knockout game against Colombia 4.5 years ago. And secondly, your counterpart, Aliou Cisse, was unable to do his press conference because of illness. Just wondering what dynamics that would change if he was unable to make the game from your perspective.
Well, wish him speedy recovery. I'm sure he'll be at the game tomorrow, so I expect he'll be there. For us, I guess the biggest thing is the expectation levels and the satisfaction levels. In Russia, when we qualified from the group stage, we were probably more excited than we were this time, although we enjoyed the win against Wales. You've got to enjoy your wins, because if you don't enjoy those, then there's not a lot of point being in this, frankly. And then, of course, everything was geared around first knockout win for 10 years. So that was almost our objective in Russia. We have to take a step at a time, the same thing. We talked about that from the beginning of the tournament. Our first objective was to qualify from the group. We knew we had 3 games to do that. There was an awful lot of noise after our second, but we stayed calm and on track, and we've qualified as well as anybody else has. But we're now on to the more important part of the competition, and we've got to get this bit right as well.
Thank you. We'll swing over to the right, please. Gentleman over here.
محمود عبد الله صحفي مصري هسأل باللغة العربية. سؤالي للكوتش.
Mahmoud Abdallah, Egyptian journalist. My question is for Coach. You have received a lot of criticism because of you including Harry Maguire, the Manchester United player. As he was playing in his league, all the analysis were positive, and they said that he was very good at defense and very good at attack. In your opinion, what's the reason between this transformation in this player's performance when he plays in Manchester United as opposed to his playing with the English squad?
Well, look, he's a good player, first and foremost. I think he knows that we've got complete belief in him. He's had huge performances for England in 2 tournaments where we've had a huge degree of progress as a country. He's been a little bit unfortunate with changes of managers and changes of philosophies, and an injury at a difficult time just after in our last game before the finals. So he's missed time. But as with most players of that quality, it's about confidence, and you can see his confidence in our team. I think we play in a way that suits him, I think he feels the other night the love of the fans as well. That was clear in the stadium, and that was brilliant to hear, because that hasn't always been the same with England in the last few months. But I think he's put those things to bed, and he's helped to form a really important bedrock for our team.
Thank you. Gentleman on the fourth row on the left there, please. Just raise your hand so we can see.
محمد اللوني من موقع كورة. سؤالي
Mohammed Eloni from Kora. My question is from Mr. Kane. Tomorrow's game, you will face Eduardo Mendy, the Senegalese goalkeeper, and then Koulibaly as well. And of course, you're the leader of the English squad. How do you see this game, and also the role of Koulibaly and Mendy, and their performance as well in the English league? Could their presence be an obstacle for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I think they're two really good players, and they've proven that on international level and club level for many years now. And of course, they're an important part of the Senegal team. And but you know, they've got loads more threats. They've got loads of good players, and I think their greatest asset is their togetherness as a team, and that's what's got them to be African champions, and obviously qualify for the World Cup and get through the group stage. So of course, two really good players, and it'll be a tough test for me and the team tomorrow. But yeah, you're in a World Cup, so you're expecting to play against the best players in the world.
Thank you. I think we're coming to the final three questions. Two across here, been waiting for a while, and then the gentleman. Okay, thank you.
محمود عصام موقع الكرة المصري. سؤال السيد جاريث ساوثجيت وهاري.
My question is to Gareth and Harry. Before the competition, we have heard criticism regarding the timing of the World Cup. Now, after the group phase, we have seen high technical performance from all the players. Do you believe the timing of the World Cup affected positively or negatively the players in this World Cup?
I think from a player's point of view, I think the timing of the World Cup, I think, will be probably the highest physically the players will be at. I think they're coming off the back of a lot of games with their club level, so they're match fit, and almost rolling straight from the season straight into the tournament has helped in that aspect. I think sometimes the summer tournament, when you have 3 or 4 week gap in between, it's hard to stop and then get back up to go again. So I think that's why you've seen a really high level in performance. And as always, I think when things change, there's always a lot of talk and about whether it's right or wrong. But all in all, from my point of view, you know, I feel good and physically in a really good place.
Thank you. Gentlemen here have been waiting a long time. Thank you.
أمجد مصطفى أمين من السودان. كيف تنظرون
From Sudan, how do you feel that you are playing against a squad that presents the African continent, especially that there's great pressure on Senegal that they have to win? How will you be facing this fact tomorrow?
We understand that there's going to be a lot of support for Senegal, not only at home but in many of the African nations. Of course, that, you know, we will be considered the favourites, Senegal the underdogs, but that doesn't really mean anything on a one-off game, and it doesn't mean there's no pressure for Senegal, because every national team has huge pressure from their own nation. And from external as well. So I'm sure everybody understands that and knows that's the case.
Thank you. Gentlemen, second row, please.
Bjarne Thyssen, Jyllands-Posten, Denmark. Question for Harry, please. Jude Bellingham has been really impressive so far in the tournament. How will you describe him as a player and as a leader?
Yeah, fantastic player. You know, he's had a great start to the tournament. He has so many qualities with and without the ball. You know, full of energy, runs forever, whether it's in a game or in training or So yeah, really impressed with him, and I think his leadership at his age is really high and is really mature. And yeah, obviously he was with us with the Euros, and I felt even since then he's matured a lot more. And I think yeah, playing in the biggest competitions, the World Cup, the Champions League, has helped him to develop even more, and hopefully he continues to do that. He's still, I think, only 19, so yeah, has a lot of time to improve and get better. And the personality that he is, I know he'll try and do that. And yeah, that's really exciting for us as a national team.
Thank you. I think we've got the very last hand here, and then we've got to everybody. So last question, please. Thank you.
Bonjour, Nicolas Le Gardien, question en français.
Good afternoon. Question in French. You might play against France in the next round, and you're particularly excited about playing against the world champions. And for Harry, Hugo Lloris is going to become the top cap holder for France. So what kind of captain is he? And have you talked about that with him?
My answer won't take long. We play Senegal tomorrow. Nothing else. There's nothing else to discuss.
Yeah, and Hugo is a fantastic captain. You know, he's a good friend, and we've known each other a long time. So, yeah, big congratulations to him on becoming the record holder for France in the caps. If obviously he plays, and yeah, you know, he deserves it. He's a World Cup winner, and he's had a career, and I'm sure he'll be looking to try and add to that. Yeah, with a few more years to come.
Great, thank you. Thank you for attending this evening, and thank you to England. Good luck for tomorrow's game. Thank you very much.
Thank you.